guys start singing their song. Upper Cumberland weather. Anti-Taylor's on the call, got the radar spin, standing proud and tall. Blue skies, breezy days, a storm rolling in. He's live streaming, covered with a great big grin. Oh yeah, upbeat and ready, no matter what the sky. With Anthony Taylor, we're reaching for the high. Whoa, Upper Cumberland weather, let's go. Highs climbing to the 80s, wildflowers in the breeze. Or a winter mix dancing through the cedar trees. Pop up showers laughing, winds are blowing free. But when severe weather moves, that's where we wanna be. Tornado warnings flashing, hail and heavy rain. Anthony's in the hot seat, calm and cool the strain. Keeping families safe with passion in his voice, turning everyone into reason to rejoice. He used to be in Anti-Taylor weather, now he's upgraded with pride. New studio shining, unity by his side. Oh, severe weather or sunny days, he's our weather king. Making forecast fun, let the good times sing. Upper Cumberland weather, Anti-Taylor's on the call, got the radar spinning, standing proud and tall. Severe weather or sunny day, he's a weather king. Making forecast fun, let the good times sing. Upper Cumberland weather, let's go. So thank you, Anthony Taylor, for all that you do. Upper Cumberland weather, we love you through and through. Keep those old things coming strong and true. We're rocking in Tennessee, me and you. Yeah, Upper Cumberland crew. Yeah, Upper Cumberland crew. Hey, hey! Upper Cumberland, let's talk about the weather. Anthony Taylor's on the air, making every day for better. In the hills of Tennessee, Mid-Atlantic so grand. Upper Cumberland's calling, best weather in the land. From the plateau down to Cookville, Anthony's in the zone. Daily forecast dropping rain or shine, he's never alone.
Good evening, folks. Anthony Taylor here live in the Upper Cumberland Weather Studio, where we are doing some live severe weather coverage. It looks like that I may have already been live. I don't know what's going on there, but I guess y'all can see and hear me. Let me make sure that we have the correct output there. All right. Let me know if y'all can see that. Let me know if y'all can hear me. We was on vacation a week and a half ago, and we brought our setup with us. All right. Hello Law Dog says all good. Amy just to see and hear. We just went live to Facebook now, so we should be on Facebook here momentarily. And let me do one more thing here. Let's get this out to our app. We want to put out a notification there too that we are indeed live. So let me get that out too, and then we will launch into what will probably end up being continuous coverage here. We got a severe thunderstorm warning right now. Reports in northwestern Macon County, northeastern Sumner County. That cell's not too terribly concerning at the moment. It's more of the storm just to the north of the border. You can see there on radar that we are looking at the moment. That will be more of the point of concern. So we will get into that here in just a second. Let me get a notification out, though, on our app so people know that we are live now. If you have our app, you should be getting a notification here in just a second. So that is done. So we are in coverage now. Again, severe thunderstorm warning here, as you can see, what we're looking at. And again, we are probably going to go into live coverage at this point. If I can get things to cooperate again. I was out of town at the beach a week and a half ago, and I took some of our computers with me that I do our severe weather coverage with, and everything's reconnected. It's just been a matter of getting everything back together so that we can go into live coverage tonight. But I think we are ready to go. Y'all have told me y'all can hear me, y'all can see me, and we should be on Facebook now, and everybody says, look good, everything looks good, so awesome. All right, so what we have is a developing line of storms, if I can get the right mouse here, to our north across southern portions of Kentucky. We've had several severe thunderstorm warnings, even a couple of tornado warnings to our north with all this activity. And all this is moving south into our northern counties. So as of right now, we have, again, an active severe thunderstorm warning here for northwestern Macon County and northeastern Sumner County. It's in effect for another 16 minutes. It's really the storm complex to the northwest of y'all that we're watching, though. We'll see if a new warning ends up getting issued for this activity. That is really more so what we're watching right now at the moment. Let me turn on our lightning display here. Nifty new little feature we have. Storms are very electrical, as you can see here. This storm north of Westmoreland has over 300 strikes just in the last 30 minutes. Let's go back. Let's do 10 minutes. So over 100 strikes just in the last 10 minutes here. 71 cloud-to-ground strikes. More cloud-to-ground strikes than cloud-to-cloud. So very intense storm here beginning in the Lafayette area. Even in and around Lafayette, we have lots of lightning right now. Just with the storm that's blowing through right now. This storm's not too significant. It's more the activity again moving here into northwestern Macon County here across the state line here that is posing more of a concern at the moment. Again, very electrical storm, damaging straight line winds right now being the main concern with this round of storms, but we have seen a few signs of rotation embedded with all of this as well. So we've had, again, the couple of tornado warnings issued to our north. Again, all this is going to be moving south over the next several hours. So this is our show as it stands right now, and we're just going to settle into some live coverage this evening. Hope y'all are all doing well. Been a very hot and sticky day out there, but clouds been building in this evening out ahead of these storms. Take a look at our Skycam site in Lafayette. There's clouds building in as these storms approach. Currently raining in Lafayette. I'm not sure if yeah, that is a live view. So it is raining right now in Lafayette. There is some lightning in the area right now, so you need to be indoors. Lafayette not under this severe thunderstorm warning. Let me fix something else here too while I'm at it. There we go. Get our little radar box working there. Wasn't wanting to work there in the corner of the screen. Got that working now. Brianna says, so we worry about football practice in Crossville. If y'all are in practice right now, y'all should be fine. I don't imagine that's going to go much longer, I wouldn't think. These storms are still well to your north. This is setting up to be a long evening. This is what we've been anticipating. Got a cold front. It's going to be sweeping through overnight. These storms are out ahead of that front. Take a look at our scope viewer here, see if we see any definitive signs of rotation. Might be a little bit of rotation here. With this storm just to the southwest of Scottsville, Kentucky. I'll have to keep an eye on that. Got a new scan of radar coming in here. Not a whole lot to talk about at the moment as far as our region is concerned, other than this storm activity across Macon County right now, out ahead of the severe thunderstorm warning. It's this storm to the north that we are watching most closely, as it will be crossing into Tennessee here momentarily. Again, ton of lightning with this. You can see our lightning counter there in the corner of your screen. About 80 strikes just in this view here in the last 10 minutes, and a good 2/3 of those are cloud to ground strikes. So very dangerous electrical storm, if nothing else, posing a damaging wind threat. Again, damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour possible with the storm. Maybe some small hail with this as well. Storms moving towards southeast at 15 miles per hour. So looking at the Weather Service chat right now, they had been looking at some rotation with this storm, which we'll take a look at here in just a second, north of Clay and Pickett counties, that was exhibiting some signs of rotation. Tornado threat this evening is very low, but it is not zero. Damaging straight line winds in excess of 60 miles per hour will be our main concern this evening, in addition to the potential for flash flooding. Could see some localized flash flooding issues as well. It looks like the Weather Service office out of Louisville is blanketing parts of southern Kentucky with flood advisories with this activity. I think some of our bigger flash flood concerns are going to be in areas that have already seen a lot of heavy rain over the last few days. The ground's really saturated. But that's not to say we can't rule it out pretty much anywhere. Kennedy asks, the chances of tornadoes in Lafayette, very, very low, but also not zero. Right now in Lafayette, though, we just have a heavy shower, some lightning. You need to be indoors because of the lightning threat. Somebody's got a picture of a pool in the middle of the radar. Now, where are y'all seeing that? Because I am... Oh, there's a... What in the world? Huh. Well, that may just have to be there. I don't know what the loading bar is about. That may just have to sit there. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. I see it now, though. I guess it does kind of look like a pool, doesn't it? So these storms are very slowly moving towards the south. We could see cells develop out ahead of these. Models have done okay handling this. I showed y'all at least one run of HRRR earlier today that showed a lot of this activity not reaching like I-40 till like 11 o'clock tonight. That could still be the case. These storms could wink in, new storms fire. It's just kind of a lot of wait and see, a lot of radar watching. Certainly with these storms being so slow moving, just makes it a little bit more, I wouldn't say tedious to cover, but might make for a little bit longer evening here. They're definitely not in any hurry, but also raises concerns for flash flooding, and also the earlier arrival of these storms as they begin to knock on our door could mean an increased threat of severe weather potentially for our northern areas, which we highlighted earlier in our forecast discussion earlier today. If you saw that, we did mention that's why the severe threat's a little bit more elevated for our northern areas. Got that influence of daytime heating definitely playing a role in all of this. I call 947 for car at the GTA. You know what? Depending on how slow these storms move, you may not be wrong. That's why it's hard. It's hard to give ETAs this evening. It's one of those nights, it's not going to be, these storms are fairly organized, but they're not really conformed to a line necessarily. They're trying. You got a lot of individual storms that have broken out, though. And really only this portion of the storm here, south of Bowling Green, moving towards the Lafayette area, is actually severe warned. And that warning remains in effect for another 7 minutes. That warning expires. We'll still stay live for a bit. Haven't decided yet if we'll do continuous coverage or if I will just break in. At some point, we will do continuous coverage, but at least for the next couple of hours, it's really going to depend on what this cluster of storms does as to whether or not I'll be live with continuous coverage or if I'll sign off for a little bit and the new warning is issued, then we'll go from there. So this is Notify UC. Let's. This actually might be one of our test counties. Actually, we won't. Let's see. Is there any other active storms going on? Let's see. Let's answer it. I may have waited too late.
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for home. Damaging winds and large hail are possible. Hail up to 1 3/4 inch in diameter is expected. Wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour are possible. This warning is in effect until 7:45 p.m. Central Daylight Time.
Okay.
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for home. Damaging winds and large hail are possible.
So that is Notify UC. I forgot I have my home set like a 10-mile radius. So if any warnings are issued within 10 miles of where I live, and this new severe thunderstorm warning covers that. So you saw how quick that was. The phone started ringing literally as soon as that polygon popped up on screen. It's the moment that warning was issued. So if you want that service, go to notifyuc.com. You can sign up for that. Very, very inexpensive. Like $8.99, I think, for just one person. That's for the entire year. That's not a monthly charge. That's one time for the whole year. Up to $24.99, you get yourself and up to 5 family members, and up to 6 locations you can monitor. And you can configure that all kinds of different ways. It's a very, very well thought out service. Again, near instantaneous alerts, which is a lot better than other such systems that can be as much as a minute or more before you get the call. And every minute counts in severe weather situations. So again, that is available to you. You just got a live demonstration of that. And while my home actually isn't in that warning, I've got it set to where if a warning is issued within 10 miles of my home, which this warning is barely within that threshold. So that's why I got the call. But if you got friends, family members you want to sign up, maybe you got kids off at college, you got elderly parents who, maybe they keep up with the weather, but you just want to make sure they got that extra set of eyes out there. They get that extra notification. It's great for them. You can sign up, set it up yourself, and then add their phone number in, and then they'll be set, ready to go. And it works outside of the Upper Cumberland too. So if you got family members outside of our region, maybe in Kentucky, Florida, Alabama, wherever, it will work outside of the Upper Cumberland region. So very, very great service there. Again, notifyuc.com. That's what that was. Your new severe thunderstorm warning here, damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour and quarter-size hail possible. What the Weather Service is mentioning with this storm. Still moving towards the southeast at 15 miles per hour. Do have the tornado possible tag on this. A little bit of rotation embedded within this storm. That's why the Weather Service has added that tag. Does not mean there is a tornado definitively with this. Using our scope here to see if we can't. Let's see. Let me make that a little bit bigger here. I've got that screen is way too far to my left there. It's just going to have to be what it is tonight, though. Again, if you're just now tuning in, was on vacation. Guess it's been about a week and a half ago. We were away for a week. Good old Florida. And whenever I'm away, I have, a backup plan for coverage in case we need to go live with severe weather coverage. So I packed up a couple of our severe weather machines and even one of our studio cameras and mic and all that good stuff, and had a whole mobile setup ready to go in case we needed it. Thankfully, we really didn't, but I was ready to go. But all that had to be reconnected when I got back here, and eventually we'll get it set up to where we'll have a full-blown mobile setup that's independent from our studio setup. I have some of the stuff I need for that. I just need to make the investment to get the rest of it ready to go so we don't have to worry about such a scenario again. Jamie says, what time's Livingston looking at these storms? Somebody asked about Monterey. Again, these are very, very slow-moving storms. They're moving towards southeast about 15 miles per hour. Maybe we'll see an increase in speed as we move along. But it makes it really difficult to give ETAs really anywhere from like Carthage, Gainesboro, Livingston, Jamestown, Point South. Again, these storms could grow further south. They could speed up a little bit. Just a lot of unknowns right now. Summertime storms don't lend themselves to a whole lot of certainty. So, Josh says there are tornadoes on the ground in Albany, Kentucky. I wouldn't think so. I haven't heard any such reports, and no tornado warnings to our north. Chris says Macon County, okay, just get indoors right now. If you're in Macon County, if you're in Lafayette, points north, back into Westmore, back into Portland even, just be indoors right now. I would be, in case we do get, a quick spin up rotation, maybe be ready to go to your safe spot. Don't have to go there right now, but just be ready to go. I would get away from windows though. Again, damaging straight line winds. If you got a tree next to your home, get away from that. Don't want anybody to get hurt. Not seeing a whole lot of action from our Lafayette Skycam, but I'll pull it up anyway. Kayla says, will they for sure hit Gainesboro? I think most, if not all of us, will see storms at some point between now and the early morning hours. When I say early morning hours, I mean these are slow-moving storms. And they are slowly moving from north to south. Could potentially see additional storms develop out ahead of these. Can't rule out that potential. We could see these storms speed up in a knee line form. It's a lot of unknowns right now. Models haven't really totally made up their mind with how they wanted to handle this system. So I mentioned that in our discussion this morning, that we would be doing a lot of watching and waiting. Nowcasting. So the forecasting, we're nowcasting. We're looking at it in real time and making judgments as we go along. Sandy asked about Hendersonville. Hendersonville, nothing to... Well, you got a little shower there on top of you in Hendersonville. That'll be out of there here in the next few minutes. That's out ahead of all this activity. That's what we're talking about, though. We can see cells like that pop up just about anywhere. Nice little storm here near the Kirby community in Macon County, near Russell Hill. Again, nothing severe with that, but it's producing some lightning, though. It's like we got about 10 strikes in this area just in the last 10 minutes from that little cell. So, again, doesn't take much. Keep an eye on the Portland area. Let's look at our let's look at velocity here. So we wait for that to load. Internet. Definitely some strong winds blowing into Portland. Got a big wind bag going into Portland here in just a moment. Switch off our scope and go to velocity. And then we'll do our inspector. Yeah, maybe some 30 to 40 mile per hour winds blowing into Portland here momentarily. Maybe even a little stronger than that. So pretty decent winds there. Based on that view, could be stronger though. Again, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. But I am watching that closely though. One thing I don't like about Mac computers is my mouse is getting hung up on another screen for another computer. So you see me bouncing around, it's because my mouse does not know which computer screen it wants to go to. We've got lightning out ahead of the storm here southwest of Lafayette. It's not even really raining here, just north of Beech Grove, between Beech Hill and Beech Grove. Definitely keep an eye on that there, though, north of Portland. Could be a little hook trying to form there. If you're in Portland, I would definitely be indoors right now. I'd be maybe even getting the lowest level just to be safe. Err on the side of caution there. I'm sure the Weather Service is watching that too. Got a new severe thunderstorm warning coming here soon for Clay and Pickett counties. And it will also include a tornado possible tag. So there might be a little embedded rotation. So that warning was just issued. So if you have our UC weather apps free to download, you should be getting that notification for that warning if you're in these areas. Hopefully you got notifications enabled for our app and you've got your location enabled. And if you got our Notify UC service and the location you have set falls within this warning polygon, you should be getting a phone call. So that is your new severe thunderstorm warning. Here's some more details with that. Storms moving towards southeast about 20 miles per hour. Again, got that tornado possible tag on this. The Weather Service added because there's a little bit of embedded rotation. Could get a spin up out of this. Not tight enough to warrant a tornado warning, but still something to note. 60 mile per hour wind gusts possible as well, damaging straight line winds as well as the potential for quarter size hail. Very electrical storm, highly electrical storm here. Had 200 strikes in the last 10 minutes. 84 of those are cloud to ground strikes. So you need to be indoors regardless, just for the lightning threat alone, but also because of the potential for damaging straight line winds. I didn't get a chance to finish my supper tonight, so excuse me, see me grabbing a highly nutritious chicken McNugget every now and then. I am muting my mic if I do that, though. I don't want to bother y'all with that, but also don't want to pass out here either. I was in a hurry to get up here to the studio, so gotta do what you gotta do as I continue my hunt for my mouse cursor. So if you're in Lafayette, conditions will be deteriorating here in a matter of probably 5 to 10 minutes or so. It's already raining lightly in Lafayette. Heavier storm just to your north up into Green Valley, Oakdale, Rocky Mount, Hayesville. Extending back into Westmoreland and Portland. And watching out for that potential for damaging straight line winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. Maria says power outage in Cookville, but there's no storms here. Definitely odd. I don't have an explanation for that one. Hey, if your power does go out, Canaan Electric, shout out to Preston he's got you covered to get you, there it is on the screen there, get you a Generac home hole generator system. Really great investment, never have to worry about your power going out again. If you're also worried about these storms, get you a storm shelter, B&H Storm Shelters. Citizens Bank can help you finance it if you need help with that. But yeah, we're just doing a lot of just radar watching. As these storms get more into our coverage area, we'll be able to pull up some pretty decent sky cam shots. Right now, not a whole lot to see. We keep going back to Lafayette, but again, just not a whole lot of action going on in Lafayette right now, just some rain. Skies are darkening, though. Carol says, hearing thunder close to Sunset and Marina. Shauna, I think that's how you pronounce your name. Maybe if not, you can correct me. Says just downloaded the app. Got a new warning coming out here. Flash flood warning from Macon to Sumner County. So Weather Service is already getting out ahead of this. Let's listen to Notify UC.
A flash flood warning has been issued for home. Flash flooding is ongoing or expected. Avoid streams, roads, and low-lying areas. This warning is in effect until 10:15 p.m. Central Daylight Time. A flash flood warning has been issued for home. Flash flooding is ongoing or expected. Avoid streams, roads, and low-lying areas. This warning is in effect until 10:15 p.m. Central Daylight Time.
That was Notify UC, our new call, text, email service. So if you want that, go to notifyuc.com. Again, I'm not, my home is not in that warning, but I'm within 10 miles, which is what I have set my personal settings to. So that's why I've got the call for that. So flash flood warning, very slow moving storm here. So flash flooding could become an issue here pretty quickly, especially for northern areas of Macon County, northern areas of Sumner County. So I want to be cognizant of that if you're in these areas. Just, I don't advise driving right now into this very intense storm, but if you have to be out, just be very careful. Come across a flooded roadway, turn around, don't drown. Trace says lots of lightning in Dixon Springs. Dixon Springs is south of all this, but you can definitely see the lightning show, I'm sure, from Dixon Springs. Lawrence has just hopped on. What was the latest update? I'll reset here. We'll talk about this a bit. So we have a, wouldn't necessarily call it a line, it's a couple of organized clusters of storms here moving southward very slowly out of Kentucky. This is what we've been talking about. Here they are. And they are rowdy, they are very intense. Just in this view here, you can see we've had nearly 700 lightning strikes detected just in the last 10 minutes. So a ton of lightning, more than half of that being cloud-to-ground lightning. It's very dangerous. These storms are posing a damaging wind threat as well, but they're moving very slowly. They're also posing a flash flooding threat as well. As we just had a new severe thunderstorm warning issued for portions of Robertson and western Sumner counties, including White House. Everybody's watching out that way. Just more of the same. Damaging straight line winds in excess of 60 miles per hour possible. Cannot rule out a quick spin up tornado embedded within this. I am in Pleasant Shade, northern Smith County, and I just heard our first rumble of thunder. Hopefully we do not lose power. I will say the further south you are tonight, hopefully the better off you will be, maybe, depending on how quickly or slowly this line moves through. The slower it is, the less influence from daytime heating we'll have. So storms might be a little more tame down this way. Y'all may not see storms till midnight or later down this way. Back to our Lafayette sky cam, you can now see some flickers of lightning occasionally from this view as the storm is just about to move over top of Lafayette, bringing heavier rain Worst is still just to your northwest. But that is the current view from Lafayette right now. Again, still not a whole lot to see other than darkening skies, but we'll continue to come back to this view as these storms get closer. If you're along the Kentucky state line, if you're in northeastern Sumner County, there you see the lightning flashing there on your screen. It's a very intense storm over top of you right now, back in the Westmoreland, Oak Grove, Portland, Turner Station, all these communities here in northeastern Sumner County. It's a very intense storm sitting on top of you right now. A ton of lightning with this storm. Nearly 150 strikes here just in northeastern Sumner County alone. Here in northern Macon County, good 50 or so strikes in the last 10 minutes. So very highly electrical storm. Loaded with water, a lot of water here. It's got to fall from the sky. Could lead to some flash flooding issues. Got that flash flood warning issued for Sumner and Macon counties. That's in effect until 10 o'clock. Or 10:15, excuse me, 10:15. And while flash flooding is not currently ongoing, especially central Sumner, southern Macon County is not experiencing flash flooding right now. This storm is moving so slowly that it could become a problem very quickly, as we may now be seeing for northern Sumner, northern Macon counties. Got a new flash flood warning coming out that I'm also within 10 miles of. Y'all can listen to that. We won't do this all night, but well, I may have hit the wrong button here. Anyway, it's Notify UC letting us know about the new flash flood warnings for Clay, Fentress, Jackson, Overton, and Pickett counties. Laura says she can hear the thunder in Carthage. Days is in the middle, I guess, in between Lafayette and Westmoreland, and the sky is worse than what that camera shows. Yes. Makes sense for where you're at. You're in a pretty precarious spot there in between two heavy portions of this storm. I've got Lafayette pulled up over here to the side. I'll put that up on screen here in probably a minute or two. We'll see a lot more lightning now from that view. Could also look at Hermitage Springs. Pull that up here. Current view from Hermitage Springs. And back to Lafayette. You can see lots of flickering there. May have lost the camera feed. Could just be a temporary glitch, or don't know. Glenda asks about Hermitage Springs. Y'all are not technically under a severe thunderstorm warning right now. You're actually in a pretty good spot right now. There's some heavier activity to your north, but it hasn't really consolidated, though. These two clusters, it's kind of a break in between them, so maybe that'll be good news for y'all. Could also fill in, too, so don't bank on that. But for right now, that's not a terrible spot to be, for sure. So watch this little hook here east of Portland. Let's get our scope viewer back up on this. Definitely some very strong winds here. We will continue to monitor that, but for right now, not a whole lot to worry about with that, but still some very strong winds embedded within that portion of the storm. Maybe some hail here as well. So these storms continue to inch southward into northern portions of our region. So we'll look at this storm over here moving into Salina now. And Byrdstown. Again, got a severe thunderstorm warning over here as well. In effect till 7:45 p.m. Again, this storm's moving slowly towards the south and southeast at about 20 miles per hour. And again, we got that flash flood warning. You see the polygon here, that green polygon being your flash flood warning in effect until 10:15 p.m. Again, these are very, very slow-moving storms that are going to dump a whole lot of rain over an extended period of time, which will definitely elevate flash flooding concerns, especially in any areas that have already seen a lot of heavy rain over the last few days. Not all of us have, but some of us have. So definitely have some concern for those areas. But if you're out driving, I definitely wouldn't advise driving right now. If you're anywhere from Lafayette, Red Bowling Springs, Salina, Byrdstown, maybe even as far south as Jamestown, Livingston, if you got to get somewhere, I'd get there quickly and then just stay put for a little bit, because it's going to be a very nasty storm and not something you're going to want to drive through. Never mind the severe weather potential with it, never mind the damaging wind potential. Just a ton of lightning and very heavy rain that could, again, lead to flash flooding. And we don't want anybody getting into a difficult spot. We want everybody to be safe. In between Westmoreland and Lafayette, and it's literally thundered for the past 20 minutes. Hasn't stopped. Heavy lightning, too. Again, tons of lightning in this area. More than 150 strikes in the last 10 minutes. So a ton of lightning between Westmoreland and Lafayette right now, as the storm moves out of Franklin, Kentucky, out of Scottsville. Now approaching Lafayette. Feels like it's been approaching Lafayette for like 20, 30 minutes now, and it has been. But the worst is still not into Lafayette yet, but it is coming. It's very slow moving. These are very, very slow moving storms. This isn't a, squall line like we would see, in the spring months, wintertime, even the fall. It's pretty fast moving. You got storm movements at like 50 to 60 miles per hour. This isn't that kind of situation this evening. These are very, very slow moving storms. And it does not help that we have a tropical storm, Bertha, down in the Gulf right now, churning along south of the panhandle of Florida, moving towards the west. That won't be directly impacting us. It's not moving this way, but we are getting at least some minimal impacts in the form of it's helping to slow down this cold front that's moving our way, which means these storms are very slow moving coming into our region, which introduces a flash flooding threat. Of course, we got that damaging straight line wind potential as well. Looks like we did have our Lafayette Skycam back, so let's go to it. We watch this storm very, very slowly moving to Lafayette. If you're north of Lafayette, you're back in the New Zion, Oakdale, Wickstown, Green Valley, any of these communities here, northern, western, Macon County, it's already on top of you. Or if you're back into northeastern Sumner County, Bethpage, Westmoreland, Portland, it's on top of y'all too right now. Just a very, very intense storm. Would not be surprised if we have some power outages out of this evening. Whether it be from lightning or from damaging wind gusts. Of course, you got that flash flooding risk as well. So just a multifaceted set of threats here this evening. We continue to watch radar. So we're right now in continuous coverage. If we get a break, again, a lot of unknowns how these storms will behave as they move southward into our region. It's not out of the question. They could try to dissolve a little bit with a new line forming. Models did kind of hint at that. A lot of unknowns right now. That's why we're now casting these, not so much forecasting. But if we did get to a point where we have a break with no active severe thunderstorm warnings, I might consider signing off for a bit and then coming back on if it looks like we need to go into another round of continuous coverage. But for right now, we are going to stay live with these. Of course, we have active severe thunderstorm warnings right now. Just looking at the Weather Service chat. So they are, they got a weather balloon up right now. They're still getting measurements from. Very waterlogged atmosphere that we have. Of course, we're already getting these flash flood warnings even before rain arrives in some of these areas. I do mention that the threat of damaging winds continues this evening. Very strong updrafts. We could get some damaging downburst winds, large hail potential, and cannot rule out the potential for a tornado. It's a very low potential, but it's not a zero potential. So again, all things of note there with their weather balloon sounding. Sally asks, is most of it staying north of Sparta? Right now it is. Now that won't be the case later on tonight, but these storms are going to take their time getting to you. Crystal asks in all caps, what about Cookeville? Cookeville, again, you're kind of in the same boat as Sparta. We're going to be doing a lot of waiting for these storms to get to y'all. It's impossible to give an ETA right now. It's very slow moving. Rogue Fire 777 on YouTube asks, where's the Ohio tornado warning at? I don't cover Ohio here. I only cover the Upper Cumberland region of Middle and East Tennessee. So 23 counties here. As a one person, that's about all I'm willing to cover with the type of coverage that I provide. So hyper local. I live here. I'm not a national figure by any means. So Bridget asks, what about Putnam County? Again, just slow moving storms moving your way, but it's going to be a while before they reach you. So that's why we're not talking about y'all as much. Salina, these storms are just about on top of you, entering the northeastern portion of town, up into Thompson Store, Willow Grove, getting in on this. Very heavy rain, very intense storm, especially north here, crossing from the Kentucky border into Clay County. It's a very intense storm here, coming out of Monroe County, Kentucky. So if you're in Salina, it's about to get pretty rough here, especially if you're northeast of town. It already is getting pretty rough. Melanie asks, what about Moss? Again, same story for pretty much everyone here across our northern tier counties. Some intense storms moving in. It's not really like a pretty, straight line, like we see spring months, wintertime, squall line. This is somewhat organized, but it's also chaotic too. Again, makes giving ETAs very difficult. That is a continuation of a severe thunderstorm warning is what that is. So again, Notify UC does it all. If a warning gets continued, the National Weather Service updates it. You can get a call for that if you want. Lots of different options that no other service provides. And again, it's all very instantaneous. Like literally, I'm looking at the National Weather Service chat right now. Anything they issue pops up there first. And quite literally, the moment it popped up there, I was getting that phone call. So Mike says some good lightning in Lafayette. I don't know if it's good lightning, but I'd say it's a heck of a lightning show, though. Take a look at our Lafayette Skycam again. Heavy rain still hasn't made it to downtown Lafayette yet. It's almost there. Still a ton of lightning, though, in and around Macon County. About 100 strikes in the last 10 minutes across Macon County with this storm. Again, it remains very electrical. Most electrical portion of this storm right now would be between Portland and Westmoreland. See your screen flashing there. The lightning hits, but a ton of lightning concentrated in this small area here. Golly, nearly 90 strikes in the last 10 minutes just in this little cross section. Just an incredible amount of lightning there. And look, nearly all of that's cloudy ground lightning too. That is a very intense storm. Wouldn't be surprised we hear some power outages there in northeastern Sumner County. Again, that's just an incredible lightning show right there. Very dangerous situation too. You need to be indoors. Not under your porch. You can get struck by lightning underneath your porch. I don't think a lot of people realize that. That's why in the springtime, when baseball is going on, I advise do not go under a dugout with lightning. You need to be getting like indoors. If you go to your vehicle, make sure the windows are up. Tammy says, Hartsville in all caps. Hartsville, it's storming. It is storming in Hartsville. Salina, again, it's more on the northeast side of town. The heaviest activity is you're definitely hearing a lot of thunder right now. Byrdstown getting in on this as well. Rain picking up right now, a lot of lightning. Again, damaging straight line winds in excess of 60 miles per hour are possible. Very intense pocket of winds here associated with this storm here between Portland and Westmoreland. I wouldn't be surprised if we are seeing 60 mile per hour winds here. So if you're in that area, you need to be indoors now. Probably already know that if you're there, but if you're southeast of there though, if you're maybe northern Trousdale County, southeastern Sumner County, maybe southwestern Macon County, pay attention to that. Definitely be indoors right now. Their scope back on. Let's poke around with this storm. Just very intense winds here near Westmoreland and points west. That's moving towards Bethpage, Green Grove, Fairview here in southwestern Macon County. Hartsville potentially with time if that remains intense. The jury's still out on that. Looking for any signs of embedded rotation here. Not seeing anything that's really sticking out to me in that regard. I'll turn her scope off so I can move around radar here. Looks like we got a new flash flood warning coming out covering the remainder of Sumner County as well as Trousdale County, which I'm also within 10 miles of.
A flash flood warning has been issued for home. Flash flooding is ongoing or expected. Avoid streams, roads, and low-lying areas. This warning is in effect until 10:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time. A flash flood warning has been issued for home. Flash flooding is ongoing or expected. Avoid streams, roads, and low-lying areas. This warning is in effect until 10:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time.
Okay, y'all saw how quick that was, right? Y'all heard my phone going off. Literally, as soon as that polygon appeared on screen, the moment that was issued, my phone was ringing with that alert. Now, I have it set to alert me if the warning is within 10 miles of my home, so I'm not actually in that warning, but I'm within 10 miles of it. So go to notifyuc.com if you want that. That is it's a very, very inexpensive service, supplemental service, but very awesome. We can offer that now. Again, other such services aren't instantaneous like that. We've tested them. Some take as much as a minute or more. Ours is, like I said, almost a snap of a finger. As soon as the weather service pushes the button, you're getting that phone call. That's what you want for you. That's what you want for your family members. And again, that is a flash flood warning, though. That is in effect until 10:30 p.m. Yeah, it's notifyuc.com. That's the word notifyuc.com is how you can sign up for that service. Again, it's very, very inexpensive. If you don't want to pay for it, that's fine. Our weather app, the UC weather app, Upper Cumberland Weather app, has push notification alerts. Those are totally free. And they can follow you around too. So if you have your location enabled, got notifications enabled, you'll get a pop-up alert. So if you were in that warning, if you're in that flash flood warning, you should have gotten a pop-up if you have all that configured correctly. Got to be on the current version of the app though. That is important. So if you think you might have that enabled but you didn't get a notification, make sure you're on the current version of the app for that to function. But for notifyuc.com, though, that is a paid service, but it's very, very inexpensive, though. Again, it's a call, text-based service. That does cost money to implement, but it's also instantaneous, and you can set it for any location you want, up to 6 locations if you get the family premium plan, and up to 5 family members. So yourself and 5 family members. Doesn't matter where you live. It's not just limited to one county. I know there's some free services out there, which are great, wonderful. I'm glad that certain counties are offering those, but they're also just limited to those counties. Ours works anywhere, not just in the Upper Cumberland, but outside of our region too. So if you maybe got elderly parents living in out of state or outside of our region, you want to make sure they're getting a phone call when a warning is issued for their area, you can sign up for our service and put in their phone number and their location, and there you go. So Lafayette, like downtown Lafayette, the rain's just now beginning to pick up. It's been thundering and lightning for a while now, but the heaviest activity is literally all around you. You're in a bubble. Further east, Salina, you're also kind of in a bubble. Heavy activity just to your northeast. I feel like the radar has looked like this for the last half hour almost. Not quite, but these are just very slow-moving storms. Very electrical storms as well. It's kind of not, I would not be surprised. We hear of a lot of power outages just from all the lightning, very intense lightning. Just in this view here, we've had more than 600 lightning strikes in the last 10 minutes. More than half of those are cloud to ground strikes. We're going to have some power outages here. There's no way around that. Renee, is that frozen in the background? Unfortunately, yes, it is. No, I'm not saying that's yes, my daughter's watching that. Hopefully we don't get a copyright hit for that. That's on the other side of the studio here. And I think it's going off, so I think we're about to start Frozen 2. Oh, that was Frozen 2. Excuse me. That was Frozen 2. I think Zootopia. We're going to watch Zootopia next. Southern DeKalb, McMinnville, again, not really anything going on down that way. It's going to be a while. The farther south you are, I mean, it could be after midnight before you see storms. And by that point, we hope you won't have as much of a severe weather threat down that way. Just a lot of wait and see right now. It's really our northern areas along and north of I-40 that have the greatest potential for severe weather over the next few hours. Again, you saw that radar scan come in. Lafayette. Now, it's starting to rain. Northeast side of Lafayette, it's picking up quite a bit now, but you saw that, though. We're still in a little bit of a dome here. It's crazy. These are very slow-moving storms. Salina, same thing. The storm is all around you, especially to your north and your east. If you're in Willow Grove, it has been coming down for quite a while now. That's why we're under a flash flood warning. But if you're in Red Bull and Springs, yeah, it's raining a bit. The worst is just to your west between you and Lafayette. And the very, very heavy activity here between Portland and Westmoreland. It's coming a heck of a storm here. Still seeing a ton of lightning in this area. Not quite as much as we were seeing maybe 15 minutes ago, but still a very intense storm here across northeastern Sumner County, really all across northern Sumner County. Approaching White House, Gallatin, if you're down that way, Goodlettsville, heads up. This is moving your way. It's a very, very intense storm. Hartsville now, rain picking up for y'all. Whether or not Bowling Green sent me here, shout out to Landon Hampton, my buddy up there. So I presume he is still live right now. He's based out of Bowling Green, just up the road. I think I've got him on the screen behind me here. Got a new warning coming out, new severe thunderstorm warning. This is Notify UC. We'll listen to it. If my phone wants to cooperate. We don't have cell service here, so I'm on Wi-Fi calling. My phone.
We are sorry. An application error had occurred.
Yeah, my phone is not wanting to cooperate. Again, we don't have cell service where I'm at here. It's, while I love our location here, have a great facility here, the cell phone companies do not care about little old Pleasant Shade up here in Smith County. So we, yeah. And Wi-Fi calling isn't always the most reliable either. But that is a new severe thunderstorm warning, though. It includes much of Sumner County, including Gallatin, Hartsville, Trousdale County. Also includes central and western Macon County. This severe thunderstorm warning is in effect till 8:30 p.m. There's the details about it. Storm continuing to move towards the southeast about 25 miles per hour. The Weather Service has removed the tornado possible tag, so that's good. But still damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour remain possible with this storm. Again, as it moves towards the southeast, about 25 miles per hour. So picking up speed a little bit, not much, but a little bit. We'll take a little bit. Maybe we can get it going a little bit faster. That'd be great. We don't want flash flooding. Unfortunately, I think flash flooding will be an issue for some of our northern areas this evening. It's kind of inevitable at this point for as long as it's been raining, as heavily as it's been raining. But if you're in Gallatin, Hartsville, Lafayette, Portland, Westmoreland, of course, it's already been storming up that way. You need to be indoors right now, away from windows. So look at our sky cam in Lafayette again. Sky's really darkening now as the storm closes in on y'all. Of course, it's raining here. Been seeing a lot of lightning. I've had this view pulled up for several minutes now. Over to my right. Still lightning quite a bit over there. So, again, very intense storm complex we are watching this evening. The storm north of Salina is still pretty strong. Not quite as organized, though, as it was even 15, 20 minutes ago. So maybe this is weakening a little bit. Doesn't mean it won't pick back up in coverage. But for right now, it's still a very intense storm. If you're in Salina, you're hearing the thunder, Byrdstown. Still nearly 200 lightning strikes in the last 10 minutes up this way. It's a very intense storm, but not as organized, though, of a cluster as it was earlier. This is a very organized cluster, though, approaching White House, Lafayette, Hartsville, Gallatin, all these areas here. Tremendous amount of lightning. Just this cluster of storms here, 545 lightning strikes in the last 10 minutes. 367 of those are cloud-to-ground strikes. A very dangerous lightning here. Any lightning is dangerous, but very dangerous threat here just from the lightning alone, never mind the damaging wind potential with this complex as well. These storms are absolutely dumping rain right now. Got flash flood warnings across our northern tier of counties. Of course, severe thunderstorm warnings in effect as well. No tornado. Donna asked, no tornado warnings for us, not in our coverage area here. So we have no active tornado warnings, thankfully. I do dread these storms reaching me, though, where I'm at. Somebody said be safe there in the shade. Yeah, I'm next in line for these, so Lord willing, maybe we won't lose power. Dorothy asks, how far is the storm system from Cookville? It's not that far away. It's just these storms are very slow moving. It might as well be 200 miles away for as slow as these storms are moving. Now, there is some light rain beginning to break out ahead of this. So that is now moving into Gainesboro, Livingston right now. Jamestown, some lightning embedded here too. So we'll see what happens with that. Maybe we'll have some new development further south. If we get an outflow boundary from these storms, they begin to collapse. Perhaps that'll trigger a new line of storms. I'd say at this point, that's really what we're watching for, to see if we get an outflow boundary from this. I'd say that'll happen. And if we get new storm development along that boundary, could bring storms a little sooner for areas like Cookeville, Gordonsville, further south, Smithville, Sparta. But again, that hasn't happened yet, though. So that's kind of what we're waiting for right now. These storms are still very strong, though, as they continue onward. They're not in any hurry to dissipate by any means. Harry says, can you zoom in? Well, is there any particular area that you want me to zoom in on? Had a comment on Facebook, looks like. I am very much a Christian. Actually missing VBS tonight, and I feel really, really bad about that. But I think that is spam, so we're going to get rid of that comment. I don't think the Lord likes spam. Huh? Oh, no, I'm talking to my people. Y'all are my people. Susan asks, will it get worse than Allen's? Yeah, this storm will pick up for y'all. It's already beginning to pick up now as we speak, but heavier storm activity here north. That severe thunderstorm warning was dropped, though, so no more active severe thunderstorm warning up this way. These storms are beginning to weaken a bit, which is good news. I do believe, though, we have a boundary trying to form. So it'll be interesting to see what happens as that sinks southward, if we'll see maybe a new line of storms begin to take shape. Lafayette's still in a little bit of a bubble here. This is incredible. Mel says, any tornado activity suspected? Not right now. We have been watching for any signs of potential rotation, but I've not heard of anything actually spinning up, thankfully. And we've had no tornado warnings in our coverage area so far. Todd asks, so the storm's moving more east than south? I would say they're moving more south than east. They do have a southeastward component about them, but definitely moving more south than east. So Katie asked what direction this is going. Well, there you go, moving towards the south and southeast. Kyle says, looking nasty here in Lafayette. Any updates? Well, that is your update. It's looking nasty in Lafayette right now. It's all around you. It is literally all around you. It's coming, though. It's if you drive like 1 mile to the west, it is coming an absolute frog strangler. If you drive 2 miles to the east, it is coming an absolute frog strangler. If you drive to the north, it is coming a frog strangler. So you're just literally in the middle of that right now if you're in downtown Lafayette. So what about Baxter? A few of y'all have asked about Baxter. Nothing going on in Baxter right now. You might be able to hear thunder now if you're maybe in southern Jackson County, maybe Carthage, Gordonsville, down towards Rickman, Clark Range. You might be able to hear some distant, very distant thunder from these storms. Oh, Danielle, no, that wasn't you. There was somebody that wasn't, I think was a spam account. No, I'm not talking about you. Adrian says, will the heaviest rain miss Gainesboro? As of right now, maybe. Again, that gap could fill in. A lot of unknowns right now. as we continue to watch these storms and monitor them. Just looking at the screens behind me there, confused as to why Survivor's on. Let's see. What about Lafayette? A lot of y'all asking about Lafayette. We've talked about Lafayette quite a bit. We'll go to our sky cam there. Again, it's raining in Lafayette, some lightning. The very worst of the storm, though, is just to the west of Lafayette, extending back into Westmoreland and Portland, where it's just coming down. Absolutely coming down right now. 240 lightning strikes detected between Cross Plains and Lafayette here in the last 10 minutes. More than half of which are cloud to ground strikes. Miranda says, what is happening with Sparta? Nothing is happening with Sparta right now. That won't be the case later on tonight, probably, but right now, a whole lot of nothing is happening in Sparta. So, that is the view from Sparta right now. See there in the corner of our screen, our app. If you don't have it, go download it. It's free and does quite a bit that most other local weather apps do not do. And it's also not bogged down with ads like most other local weather apps. We get a ton of features you can't find elsewhere in a local app, including site-selectable Doppler radar, including multiple radar products you can choose from on top of that. An update is in the works as well that'll add some more features. I know people have asked about lightning. For what our app does, it offers a heck of a lot of stuff, I will say, over many other apps. But that is one thing we don't currently have, but I will say, I think I can confirm that's in the works. So you have a lightning display. And we're also working on some other stuff too. A lot of you have asked about future radar. That is also in the works. So hopefully our next update will include those features and some more stuff too. The great thing about the app is it's not a cookie cutter as far as something that's already been established. It was literally built for us and have a big say in features that get added as we go down the line. And we got a lot of cool stuff we've talked about, stuff we might be able to add to it with time. So really excited for what the future holds with the app. But even as it stands right now, extremely well-rounded. Got push notification alerts, which, very, very critical to have that. Site selectable radar. You can see all of our sky cams. We have 47 sky cams across our 23 county coverage area. Now, a few of them are down right now for maintenance, but still 47 sites. Nothing like it in the entire nation for a region of this size and population density. And there's more on the way. That network, there's no stopping its build out. We're just going to keep building it out and building it out and building it out. We can get up to 500 cameras and still won't be enough. I want a camera anywhere we can have a good view of these storms. Let me know what y'all are seeing though if you're in Lafayette. Radar's finally filled in the gap here. It's finally coming down in Lafayette. So let me know what you're seeing. If you're in Macon County, if you're in Sumner County, if you're back towards Westmoreland, Portland, I want to hear from y'all what y'all are seeing, because it is just coming down right now. Absolutely coming down. Hartsville really beginning to pick up for y'all too. Dixon Springs about to get in on this. Russell Hill. Red Bowling Springs. Harmony Springs, you've gotten kind of lucky here. It's raining lightly, not too terribly intense for y'all. Some lightning in the area. Salina finally starting to come down for y'all too. That storm had been hovering just to your north and east, but it's finally beginning to pick up there. Byrdstown got a good downpour here on the southwest side of town. Also coming down over top of Dale Hollow Lake, Willow Grove, extending down into northern Overton County. Our only active severe thunderstorm warning, we got a couple of warnings covering Sumner County, then also including Trousdale and Macon counties. That warning remains in effect until 8:30. So current time 7:53. So we got another 37 minutes to go on that warning. Damaging straight line winds in excess of 60 miles per hour remain our main concern with that storm as it moves towards the southeast. Very slowly at 25 miles per hour. A little faster than it was moving earlier, but still very slow moving storm regardless. But with their app, I want to thank all of our great community partners, our premier partners, for making the app possible. You see them there: Citizens Bank, the Quality Family, Henry Brothers Roofing, B&H Storm Shelters, and Canaan Electric LLC. Also thankful to Nissan of Cookeville for making our severe weather coverage possible. Go back to our Lafayette Skycam again. Seeing a lot of lightning flickering there. And again, most of these are cloud to ground strikes. You may not see it on camera there, but from what's being detected, though, a lot of cloud to ground lightning here. Very dangerous storms here. Very dangerous storms. So I've had a request to look at Holland, Kentucky from Mickey Smith there in Jackson County. I think we've got what he said. I think he mentioned there's a church camp going on there. Conditions improving greatly for y'all, for them up there. So I'll pull up radar and let y'all see that. So for the church camp there in Holland, Kentucky from Gainesboro, y'all are in good shape now. Still some lightning in the area, but as far as the heavy storm activity has moved south of you, can't rule out some additional storm activity later on, but I think most of the action will be south of that area the remainder of this evening. So again, these storms can be slow moving over to the east, Salina to Byrdstown. Some heavy rain here, maybe some embedded gusty winds. Of course, a tremendous amount of lightning still being detected over this way. Not as much cloud to ground lightning, though. It's more in-cloud strikes, but still want to be indoors if you're up that way. No active severe thunderstorm warning. We do have a flash flood warning, though. So travel is not advised if you can stay home, if you can. Do appreciate all of y'all tuning in. If you don't mind sharing this stream, it's greatly appreciated. We're live on multiple platforms. We're on X, we're on YouTube, Facebook, our own UC Weather app. You can watch our coverage there. Hub Plus on Roku. Download the Hub Plus app. You can watch us there as well. Certainly appreciate. Oh, there's thunder. Don't know if y'all can hear that. Finally getting some thunder down my way here in northern Smith County, where I'm based out of. Lawson asks, estimated timeline for weather in the next few hours for the Upper Cumberland area. Well, depends on what area you're talking about, because we're covering the Upper Cumberland and northern areas are already getting storms. Southern area, central areas, it's going to be a while. I wouldn't be surprised if we see new development here in the next couple of hours, maybe further south, out ahead of this line. But again, a lot of that remains to be seen. There's a lot of waiting right now, waiting around, see what happens. By far the strongest cluster of storms we have extends from Springfield, Tennessee to White House, now entering Gallatin, and then over into almost Hartsville, northern Trousdale County, and much of Macon County, getting in all this too. Take a look at our Skycam here near Gallatin. See lightning illuminating the view there. Tons of light storm. Again, you can see all of these views inside our UC weather app, so make sure you have that downloaded. If you're on Facebook, we've been running our America 250 giveaway. We still have to announce a winner. I was planning to do that today. We may push that to tomorrow of our latest prize. I believe it's tickets to the Nashville Zoo. So I think at this point I'll just wait until tomorrow. The storms have kind of interrupted that a little bit, so we're trying to play around that a little as best we can. So if we move that to tomorrow, though, that means you still got time to enter. So if you'll scroll down our Facebook page, you can find the entry post from a couple days ago. Go enter now. And if you don't win, we'll have another entry post in a day or two. We're going to keep that going at least through the end of this month and maybe into August too. We might keep that going pretty good ways in August. There's still a few of our partners I need to reach out to about that. It's been very busy around here. Of course, I was on vacation. But we still have more prizes to give away, so make sure you're on our Facebook and keeping up with that. That's the live view right now from Gallatin. Again, not seeing a whole lot, just lightning flashing there on the screen, but it gives you an idea of what's going on there with this very intense storm. That just remains very, very intense. Would not be surprised if we're having some flash flooding issues now across much of Sumner County, Macon County even. Got a new flash flood warning coming for Davidson, Wilson, and Smith counties with 1 to 3 inches of rain anticipated. Weather Service just mentioned that in the NWS chat. So we'll get that new polygon here. We'll hear Notify UC should be going off for that as well as soon as they draw up that polygon. But Wilson counties here in our coverage area, you should be getting a notification from our app soon. Weather radio should be going off. Hopefully you got one of those. If you got Notify UC and your location falls under that warning, you should be getting that as well. So we're just waiting for that to be issued. But definitely flash flooding is a concern with these very slow moving, heavy rainfall producing storms. Very intense storms at that. Connie says, big lightning show in pleasant shade. I'm not outside to watch it, but I will absolutely take your word for it, though. A lot of that lightning is occurring just to the north and northwest back in the Trousdale and Macon counties, but that will be sliding into Smith County here very soon. Still a lot of lightning here near Salina and points northeast towards Willow Grove. Another heavier cell across eastern Pickett County. But our most organized cluster of storms being what we're looking at here between Lafayette, Hartsville, Gallatin, White House, Springfield, Greenbrier. That continues to push towards the south and southeast. So there's the flash flood warning just issued by the Weather Service. Here's Notify UC. And I think our cell service here, where we're having to use Wi-Fi calling, is having issues. But again, lots of options available to you for those alerts. There's your new flash flood warning polygon. Includes all of Davidson for anybody watching out that way. We don't officially cover Nashville, Davidson County, but we do cover Wilson and we do cover Smith counties. And this flash flood warning does include y'all. Flash flood warning is in effect till 11 o'clock tonight. Again, 1 to 3 inches of rainfall likely over the next few hours, which could lead to some flash flooding issues. So while the rain really hasn't even started yet in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Watertown, and only some light rain right now for Carthage, it's about to pick up here over the next 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how far south you are. Again, these are very slow-moving storms. I will say, if you're in far northern Macon County, near the Scott County, Monroe County line, rain is being let up a little bit. Same for far northern Sumner County, so that's the good news. You're probably out of the woods for any additional severe weather worries up that way the rest of the evening. We could see a couple of storms still move through later on. Just look at this view. So from Clarksville to Byrdstown, nearly 1,200 lightning strikes in the last 10 minutes. What a storm. Very, very, very intense storm here. Donald says, what time for Baxter? Y'all still have a ways to go. Got a little bit of lightning already, though, close to Baxter. There north of Chestnut Mound had a lightning strike detected. But as far as ETA goes, it's hard to say. These storms on the eastern side have weakened a bit. Still pretty strong in their own right, but they've weakened a little bit. But we could see new development further south. Again, just a lot of wait and see right now. So hopefully that answers your question about Baxter. Don, this is starting to rain in Sparta. Let's look at that again. Not much on the radar down that way, but I'll take your word for it. Ground shaking in Dodson Branch from all of the lightning, the thunder. Barbara says, what about Livingston? Livingston, storming pretty good just to your north. Just some light rain in Livingston right now. That storm is sinking southward, so you may see rain pick up here soon. Seeing a bit more separation between these two clusters of storms as well. So like Hermitage Springs, you're really benefiting from that. Just some light rain for y'all is really all y'all seen for the most part. But Gallatin, Hartsville, these areas, very, very intense storm on top of y'all right now. Hopefully we can get a Skycam site going in Hartsville soon. That's high on my list of priority to get one going there. Also need one in Van Buren County. And there's several other gaps I'd like to fill in too, but we're getting there though. 4.5 years ago, we didn't have any Skycams. So we've gone from 0 to 47 in less than 4.5 years. I'd say that's pretty good. Lawson says, can you put the big map in, I'm stumbling tonight, y'all. Can you put the big map in motion so we can see these storms for the travel area? Yeah, we can do that. Let me adjust this here. May have to do a little back end work here. Let's do 100 frames. And let's go back into that mode. So this is radar over the last few hours. Give you kind of an idea how these storms have evolved as they've moved southward. You can see all the warnings that have been issued along the way. So this starts at just about 3 o'clock this afternoon. So this is what radar has looked like over the past 5 hours, 5.5 hours. So in case you're wondering about the direction of these storms, there you go. I can zoom in on that a bit more. Pretty cool view, huh? Got some new software here that's super powerful. And y'all are only seeing a fraction of what it can do. Yeah, not many other publicly available weather suites out there can show you a view quite like that with all the lightning and the animations and such. So pretty cool, pretty cool. Thunder really beginning to roll here. Pleasant Shade, northern Smith County, where I'm based out of. Rain beginning to pick up here. So if you're in northern Smith County, this storm is just about to you. Slowly but surely on its way. Very heavy rain falling in Hartsville right now. Just a very heavy downpour. Same for Lafayette still. And areas in between. Again, that storm's moving towards the south and southeast. So if you're from Carthage and points west towards Rock City, Hiawassee, Gordonsville, likely to get in on this cluster of storms. So just a heads up, it's likely to get pretty intense here soon. Check on our velocity view again. Haven't looked at that in a minute. Some intense winds here in northern Trousdale County and the Hartsville, extending across southern Sumner County into central and southwestern Macon County. Again, damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour possible across these areas. So if you are in Hiawassee, there in Smith County, Dixon Springs, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, just a heads up, this is moving your way. I wouldn't be surprised if we get any severe thunderstorm warning here very soon for this complex of storms as it continues to move south and east. Like, that's a good example there. No offense to Ring and Amazon, who owns Ring, but I'm just now getting a notification about the flash flood warning that was issued 7 minutes ago. Our app gave you that notification almost the moment that warning was issued. Kimberly says the tornadoes are likely. No, not to say one can be totally ruled out. It's not out of the question, but it's a very, very low-end threat. Waiting to see what the Weather Service will decide to do here farther south and east. Will they issue a new severe thunderstorm warning for this as the storm it's at the southern edge of this warning right now. Actually, a couple of warnings spanning back into portions of Davidson and Sumner counties, as well as Trousdale and Macon counties. Curious to see if they'll extend that further south. I have a feeling they will. But again, that is merely speculation on my part at this point. Holly says maybe this will bring us out of the drought. We're chipping away at it. We are absolutely chipping away at it. Some areas have been removed from the drought. You've gotten enough rain over the last several weeks. Other areas are still in a moderate drought. And there's not really one well-defined area I can say where it's over versus where it's still ongoing, because it's like a jigsaw puzzle right now. But this will help, though. This will definitely help, especially our northwestern areas, this heavy rain. Should definitely see some improvements, but what we don't want is flash flooding, and unfortunately that might be an issue. Let's take a look at our Lafayette Skycam again. Not a whole lot you can see here because it is coming a very heavy storm right now. I can hear the thunder very well pronounced in Pleasant Shade, northern Smith County right now, where I'm based out of. And thunder likely can be heard pretty far south now. We got lightning here south of Monterey, and it's not even storming there. There is some light rain, very light rain to your southeast. Not anything you would associate with a thunderstorm, but we are getting lightning down there. This is how charged the atmosphere is right now above us, that we're getting lightning, and with that's nothing. 3 strikes last 10 minutes there. Crazy, crazy. If you hear thunder, you need to get indoors immediately, or at least inside your vehicle with the windows up. Kathy says, thank you for being on. I say thank you for watching, Kathy. Appreciate you tuning in. This is what we do here. Doesn't matter how fast or slow the storms are moving, I am here talking you through them. It's like we got about 12, maybe 1,300 of you watching. Appreciate y'all tuning in this evening. Certainly only seeing storms really in Lafayette and Hartsville right now. Same for Byrdstown. Dale Hollow Lake got a pretty heavy storm on top of you. I'd say once these storms, if we get some new activity closer to Cookeville, probably see an uptick in viewership. But please, if you don't mind, though, share our stream. It's greatly appreciated. The way the algorithms are, especially Facebook's. Facebook's has been awful here recently. So it is greatly appreciated when y'all share our content and get the word out when we're live, so nobody misses anything. Still got 700 watching on Facebook. I'm going to reshare that feed again. If y'all don't mind helping to share as well, to push that out. People may not know we're live right now because Facebook is not very good at that sort of thing anymore. Not like they used to be. Even though our following is way up there now. We just crossed 77,000 followers. I think there's just an overload of pages out there we're having to compete with. But you follow us for weather information. That's why you follow us. You don't want to miss it. So you can blame Facebook when you do. But that's why we have our app now. We got the UC Weather app. So glad we have that now. It's not controlled by some big corporation. We control it. So new severe thunderstorm warning does not include Smith County. This is more for Wilson County into Rutherford County, Davidson County. Getting out ahead of this complex is really shifting more in a southward direction. So heads up Lebanon, heads up Mount Juliet, heads up Smyrna. If anybody's watching out that way, severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 9:15 p.m. Storm is picking up in speed a lot, moving towards the south at 55 miles per hour. So we're finally beginning to see this storm gain some momentum. We'll see what happens. If we see any development further east, maybe we'll see some new development. Again, a lot of unknowns there. Again, that is your new severe thunderstorm warning, and damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour remain the main concern there, these storms. So they are racing along now, finally, really seeing some faster movement finally, which is good for the flash flooding concern. We want these storms to move through quickly. We don't want flash flooding, although this could mean a higher probability of damaging straight line winds. So it's kind of a twofold situation here. But anyway, Nashville is getting into Davidson County included in that warning. But in our coverage area, Wilson County, much of Wilson County, including Mount Juliet, Lebanon, Gainesville Road, Gladeville, and into northern Rutherford County, including Smyrna. Does not include Murfreesboro, but it does include points north of y'all. And again, that severe thunderstorm warning is in effect till 9:15 p.m. We're looking at a live view right now from Lebanon. Storm is just about on top of Lebanon. It's on the north side of Lebanon right now, crossing Main Street, West Main Street, crossing Highway 70 north. They're on the eastern side. Moving into the square, moving over Coletco, longtime supporter of Upper Cumberland Weather, one of our very original sponsors back in the day. Do you have a new severe thunderstorm warning? New severe thunderstorm warning coming out for much of Smith County. We'll pull that up here. Pull that up on screen. So there is your new severe thunderstorm warning. And Weather Service has put the considerable damage threat tag on this storm for the potential of damaging straight line winds in excess of 70 miles per hour. And they do have the tornado possible tag on this storm. Seeing a pocket of very intense winds here blowing into Dixon Springs, Hiwassee Road, moving towards Pleasant Shade. Let's take a look at our velocity view here. Give that a second to load. Oh, I forgot to click on it. There we go. Oh yeah, very, very intense winds here. So if you're in Hartsville, points east of Beech Grove, Cato, Dixon Springs, you need to be indoors now. You need to be away from windows. I will say, where I'm at right now, hopefully the worst goes just south of me. Hey, get the helmet on Hallie, and y'all kind of, I mean, you can stay put right now, but here in a few minutes, I might have you go like the other side of the room, get away from that window. Here, I'll grab it for you. Got the Minnie Mouse helmet here. I'm going to put that on Hallie because we play it safe here, y'all. She's going to need a bigger helmet here soon. Helmets on. That's what we do here. We keep us safe here. I will stay live with y'all, though. I feel reasonably safe where I'm at. We're not under a tornado warning, but that being said, I want my family to be safe. So that's what anyone should do. But this is what we're watching here, moving into Pleasant Shade, moving into Dixon Springs, Hiwassee Road area, very intense winds here. And there is some broad rotation embedded within this storm as well near Dixon Springs. So we'll have to watch that very closely in case we get a spin up with that. If you're in that severe thunderstorm warning, if you're in Carthage, if you're in Defeated, Elmwood, Chestnut Mound, Tanglewood, you need to be getting indoors right now. I'd be getting to a centrally located room on the lowest level. Don't have to go into full tornado mode, but just to be safe, it would not be a bad idea if you're in those areas. Please share this stream if y'all don't mind. Please share it if you're on Facebook. It really helps to get the word out. Again, people don't think about tornadoes in the summertime, but they can happen. It's rare. Usually when they do, they're weak, and if we did see a tornado this evening, it very likely would be weak, but still we want to take it seriously. Even an EF0 tornado with 80-mile-per-hour winds can still do some damage. And there is some, at least broad rotation here near Rock House, Dixon Springs. This will be moving into Riddleton here soon. Again, we have our scope tool here, very handy to have, so we can look at our reflectivity and get a peek at the velocity here underneath the storm. So, watching that very, very closely as that continues to move towards the southeast. Turn our scope viewer off. And I'll pull up the details of this warning again for y'all to see. Got the considerable damage tag on this severe thunderstorm warning. Again, damaging straight line winds in excess of 70 miles per hour possible. Cannot rule out a spin-up tornado. Storm's moving towards the east at about 40 miles per hour. I'd say more south-southeast. Southeast-southeast, I should say. But about 40 miles per hour. So if you're along Highway 80, Highway 85, Highway 25 here north of Carthage, back into Rock City, Pope's Hill, all of you need to be getting indoors away from windows immediately, lowest level. I would highly advise treating this like a tornado warning just from the damaging wind threat. Damaging winds in excess of 70 miles per hour. That's getting up there into low-level EF0 tornado stream. And we don't want anyone to get hurt with this. So take it seriously. I will say I'm in the path of this storm. So it's not impossible that I could lose power here. Lord willing, we won't. But I will throw that out there. If you see the stream stop, it may mean I've lost power and I'll be running an extension cord to get back on the air in some form or fashion. May not be as pretty as what you see right now, but we'll make it happen. But for now, we wait. If you are along the Charleston County, Smith County line, again, indoors, lowest level right now, away from windows is where you want to be. Same for southeastern Macon County, Kirby Community, Russell Hill, Beach Bottom. These areas are also under a flash flood warning as well. Very intense rain here. Could easily get 1 to 3 inches of rain in a short period of time. Let's look at our Rock City sky cam. Actually, let's wait for radar to let's look at this latest frame of radar. All right, now let's go to Rock City. This storm is just about on top of Rock City. This is Pope's Hill we're looking at here. Live view right now from Rock City. We've seen some pretty crazy views here in the past. This is a really good view looking west towards Lebanon. The storm is just about on top of our Skycam site here. Just continuous lightning, nonstop lightning here. That tells you everything you need to know about the storm. Very intense storm. Take it seriously. Take it seriously. Again, damaging straight line winds in excess of 70 miles per hour are possible here. Cannot rule out a spin-up tornado anywhere embedded within this. From Rome, Flat Rock, up into Dixon Springs. Again, severe thunderstorm warning in effect till 9 o'clock. And we've got the whole gauntlet here of potentials with this storm. 70 mile per hour wind gusts. Cannot rule out a spin-up tornado within this. Maybe some small hail moving east at about 40 miles per hour. This is moving towards Carthage, Tanglewood, Monaville, defeated Kempville. I know we got Vacation Bible School going on at our church in Kempville. The storm, it's already storming right now in Kempville. The worst is probably a good 15, 20 minutes away. It's one of those situations where I hate that we don't have cell service in northern Smith County. It's the most absurd thing because we have a smaller church. We don't have internet there. So I'm not even sure how many people are even aware of the storm coming their way, but again, no VBS letting out. We need cell towers. We need cell towers. That's my rant for the night. We need more cell towers. We got to fill in these gaps. But that's your storm heading in as it moves through Rock City right now. Again, heavy rain's overtaking the view, so we're not going to be able to see much else from this view. Let's go back to radar again. That is your storm right now. Moving into Pleasant Shade, Riddleton. Heavy rain really beginning to pick up right now in Pleasant Shade. Riddleton, Rock City. Again, damaging straight line winds in excess of 70 miles per hour are a possibility with this storm. So the Weather Service has gone ahead and extended the severe thunderstorm watch farther south, at least the Weather Service office out of Nashville. So some of our southern areas that weren't included in that, you are now included. So Warren County, Van Buren County, Cannon County, not sure if y'all were in it before or not, but you're now in that watch. They do anticipate this severe threat is going to persist, further south of the Alabama state line based on what we've seen so far. If you're in Cookeville, just be watching, be monitoring. Same for Smithville, Woodbury. The farther east you are, Jamestown, Crossville, a lot of uncertainty for this area right now. It's more so areas farther west that are for sure we're going to get a piece of this line. Really hearing the thunder right now. Let's go to Carthage. Look at our Carthage Skycam. This is one of two Skycams we have in Carthage on the same tower. This is our, I call it our eastern view. We're actually looking north right now. That's Smith County High School there in the background. And you can just see just a near endless lightning show right now. Non-stop lightning as the storm moves into the Carthage area. For areas further east, Gainsboro, Gentry down in Putnam County, Flynn's Lick, Granville, Gladys, all included. Cub Creek, all included in this severe thunderstorm warning as well. So you are in the path of this very intense storm as it continues to move towards the east, about 40 miles per hour. I just glanced over at the comments, and the first one I saw was, he can't see direct comments right now until he looks at them. That is true. I'm only one person here. I'm a one-man show as far as operations go. So when I'm talking to y'all and driving radar, I'm not looking at comments. I do try to look over there occasionally, but I can't see them all. So if you feel like I'm avoiding you or whatever, I'm not. I can't, I don't have but more than two eyes, and, they can only focus on one area. So. But this is what our Skycam network's all about, and we're continuing to build it out. We can see views like this one right here. Getting a really good look at this storm, all the lightning associated with it as it moves towards Carthage. It's already raining in Carthage right now, but the more intense stuff is just to your northwest. Again, Flat Rock, Rock City, Riddleton, Pleasant Shade, all getting in on this right now with very, very heavy rainfall. Very gusty winds, again, damaging straight line winds in excess of 70 miles per hour are possible with this storm, and we cannot rule out the potential for a quick tornado spin up. But just a very impressive lightning show over top of Carthage right now. We'll go back to that view here shortly, but just want to show you radar right now. Again, what we're looking at. Hartsville conditions are improving. Same for Lafayette, so that's good news for y'all. I don't anticipate we'll have any more worries for y'all the rest of the evening. Same for northeastern portions of Sumner County, Portland, and Westmoreland. Y'all are probably in pretty good shape. But the rest of the area, though, again, I can't say that. Especially our western areas. I don't know about our eastern areas yet. We could see this line extend back out eastward with time. A lot of unknowns. This is a very intense storm, though. I do know that. A lot of lightning here moving into Smith County. More than 200 strikes detected in the last 10 minutes. About 3/4 of those have been cloud-to-ground strikes. It's an incredibly intense storm. Here across southern Macon County, eastern Trousdale County, Smith County, and Wilson County. Don't want to leave y'all out either. Mount Juliet, Lebanon, very intense storm pushing southward towards Gladeville. Laverne, Smyrna will get in on this too here in the next probably 20 to 30 minutes. Got a new scan here coming in with radar. Tammy says trees are down everywhere here in Hartsville. So trees down in Hartsville. And again, that is what's pushing through Smith County right now and Wilson County. So again, take this storm seriously. You want to be indoors right now. Lowest level of your home away from windows. I would treat it almost like you would a tornado warning. Just to be on the safe side, if you got a tree near your home, I would get away from that tree. Rain. So far, we're hanging in there, pleasant shade, where I'm at. We still have power, Lord willing. Hopefully that'll remain the case. I wouldn't be surprised if we have a lot of power outages tonight. I haven't looked at the power outage map, but it wouldn't surprise me if we have several where these storms have already pushed through just from the incredible amount of lightning that we've had. In fact, let me broaden this out a bit. Over the last hour, look how much lightning we've had just in this view here. So this would be for areas from Carthage up to Lafayette, southern Kentucky. You know, just what we've watched over the last hour, almost 5,500 lightning strikes over the last 1 hour. And even in the last 10 minutes, 770 strikes in that view. Just this storm in Smith County, almost 200 strikes in the last 10 minutes. Crazy intense storm, nonstop lightning. Take it seriously. Again, we are live right now with continuous coverage. It's what we do here. Let's take another look at our velocity view. Pretty strong winds embedded here, these storms. If you're just now tuning in, we're looking at a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings as well as a host of flash flood warnings. The severe thunderstorm warnings include areas like Lafayette, although Lafayette is calming down for you a lot. Y'all are good to go in Lafayette other than lightning still in the area. But Gainesboro, Carthage, Lancaster, Gentry over into Putnam County, Gordonsville also included, and then we also have Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Smyrna. Areas north of Murfreesboro also included in a severe thunderstorm warning. The severe thunderstorm warning for Smith County and points east is in effect till 9 p.m. And damaging winds in excess of 70 miles per hour remain possible with this storm. Respond to a message here real quick. Let's go back to that Carthage view again, as this storm is just about on top of Carthage. Still a pretty much nonstop lightning show here. based on the reflectivity view on radar, I don't want to say the storm is weakening all that much, but not seeing as strong of returns as we were seeing earlier. Still a very intense storm regardless, though. Again, still under that severe thunderstorm warning till 9 o'clock. And again, that includes Gladys, Gainsboro, Gentry, Gordonsville. And again, what you're looking at is a live view from Carthage right now looking north. Here in a second, we're going to do a storm track on these, on all this activity. Give y'all some estimated times of arrival. So I've got that pulled up, so let me show that on screen real quick. We'll, I tell you what, this whole feature, I know you can turn it off on Macs, Apple Mac computers, but being able to move your mouse cursor between different computers, not just screens, but different computers, is kind of annoying. And even when you think you have it disabled, at least in my case, it doesn't seem like it actually is disabled. But here are some ETAs, though. Smyrna, 844, Baxter, 851. That Lafayette, you see, that is in Putnam County. Murfreesboro, 856, all good, 859. Cookeville, 859. Smithville, 9 o'clock. Woodbury, 902. Sparta at 919. Now, that's if these storms continue at the same speed they are moving. That track's a little off, too. I may redraw that, actually. I didn't realize I kind of messed up the track there. That's my fault for not paying too much attention. I'm actually going to back this up a little slower. Run this at 35 miles per hour. And let me tweak this as well. Let's see. Okay. Let's draw that again. I can find my mouse. And then we'll go up this way, and then we'll run it about like this. This should be a little more accurate here, I think, with the movement of these storms. So we'll run through that again. Murfreesboro, 902, Baxter, 903, Smithville, 910, Woodbury, 910, Cookeville, 911, Sparta, 934, McMinnville, 940. And that could be a little fast, but that gives you some general ETAs if this line of storms continues on its current track. Again, but it's summertime. It's this particular system in general, it's kind of difficult to give ETAs the whole lot of confidence. But if these storms continue moving at about the rate of speed they are now and the intensity we're seeing, that would be your ETAs you can anticipate. If you're further east, though, again, not a lot going on. If you're in Jamestown, Livingston, that doesn't mean we won't see any new activity over this way. We very well could. But for right now, this line or cluster of storms really is the main show of the evening so far. I will say earlier model runs were indicating things really picking up maybe around 10 to 11 o'clock this evening. So we'll see if that is if that will hold true. Do our future track here. Let me make sure we're on the current run. The HRRR. All right, so this is going forward in time. So this is what radar could look like at 10 o'clock. See storms extending from Gornsville, Cookeville, Jamestown, so maybe radar filling back in up this way. Again, no guarantees that'll happen. This is just one run of one model. This is the latest run of the HRRR. And then as we go later into the night, 11 o'clock, midnight, you see storms moving across our southern areas, weakening as they move farther south. And then maybe some residual showers, maybe a couple of storms possible tomorrow. We'll back this up again, though. Go forward in time. Again, 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Again, you see storms continue to drift southward. So, again, that gives you an idea of what radar could look like over the next few hours. Again, we continue with this severe thunderstorm warning. Like the Weather Service west of us issued a tornado warning. Not sure if I even have tornado warnings enabled on there. Let me see about that. I think I do. There we go. No. Turn that on. Or it was on. Okay, there it is. Okay. There we go. It's new software on a computer I don't always use it on, so still a bit of a learning curve here. Very powerful, though, as y'all can see. That's well outside of our viewing area, but just heads up if you've got friends or family in Dixon County, that is a tornado warning. There is a tornado vortex signature. It's been indicated by radar. See, flashing, there's a little icon there, a little dot. Just heads up if you've got friends or family out that way. Still watching these storms continue to push south and east, mainly impacting Smith County right now. And central and southern Wilson County pushing towards Watertown. Brush Creek, Gordonsville getting in on this now. Carthage, very heavy rain in Carthage. Defeated. Pleasant Shade starting to let up a little bit. That's good. Good for me because I'm still live. We haven't lost power here, which is really good. Kentville also should be clearing up here soon. This is good for VBS tonight, letting out. But a severe thunderstorm warning does continue, though, for another 14 minutes. Not sure if the Weather Service will extend that or not. Flash flood warnings also in effect. Not sure if the Weather Service will continue these warnings or not for our northeastern areas. We just haven't seen as much heavy rain over this way. We did earlier coming out of Kentucky, but those storms have really weakened a lot. Just some light rain right now for Livingston and Jamestown. So not really too worried about flash flooding up that way. You are under a flash flood warning. We could see redevelopment of storms up this way. A lot remains to be seen with that. I will say, Carthage area, while we don't want flash flooding, this rain is needed. We are still experiencing drought conditions here. Still got a moderate drought across much of Smith County, so the rain is definitely welcome. We just don't want too much of it at once. Now, this is any signs of rotation over Gainesboro? No. Anything happening in Ocean City, Maryland, or anything near there? I'm not sure. I don't cover that area. Again, I want to remind y'all, I'm only one person, and I'm not always looking at the chat. Of course, we have the view I see Facebook and YouTube comments coming into like one pool here. So if you're asking questions, I'm not seeing all of them. Aaron says, just now getting on the live stream. What about Smith County? Smith County, From Gornsville north to Defeated remains under a severe thunderstorm warning, extending eastward into Gainesboro, Gentry over in Putnam County, Buffalo Valley. Warning remains in effect till 9 p.m. The storm appears to be weakening a little bit, though. Still seeing a lot of lightning being detected. So continue to remain sheltered indoors right now, away from windows. Still a very intense storm again, moving through Carthage, moving into Gornsville here, Brush Creek, moving towards Lancaster. Alexandria about to get in on this as well. Conditions should begin to rapidly improve in Lebanon here very soon. Watertown now getting in on this. A lot of lightning here between Carthage and Granville being detected. Take a look at our Skycam in Granville while we are talking about Granville. And you can see that lightning flashing there on your screen. Renee says, big lightning in Sparta. I'm assuming you're looking off in the distance, seeing the storm to your northwest. And yeah, you're probably getting a pretty good lightning show off in the distance there. Linda says it's in Gornsville now, which radar can confirm that. I will put radar in motion. This is what radar has looked like over the last few hours. So the Weather Service is continuing that severe thunderstorm warning. You can see how these storms have evolved over the last several hours, though. They developed up in Kentucky earlier today and have drifted southward towards us, but the eastern fringe of these storms has really dissipated along the plateau, back towards Highway 111. Not much going on over that way other than some light rain right now. But the Weather Service is continuing the severe thunderstorm warning for Smith, Jackson, and western Putnam counties till 9 o'clock. They haven't really changed anything as far as their wording. Still the considerable damage tag for potential for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and can't rule out a spin-up tornado. There was one report, one of y'all mentioned a lot of trees down in Hartsville. That's with this same storm. Of course, Hartsville's fine now. So, if you're underneath one of these storms, obviously a tremendous amount of lightning ongoing. You hear the thunder. As these storms continue to move south and southeastward. It does appear this storm in Smith County is weakening a little bit. I think the Weather Service is letting the warning ride till 9 o'clock. I'd be surprised, though, if they extend it. I think the heavier activity is really more down in Alexandria right now. And you are not warned right now. Still a pretty intense storm over that way, though. Maybe some gusty winds, a lot of lightning being detected. The storm overall doesn't seem to be as organized. But that doesn't mean we won't see new development later tonight. Again, we looked at the HRRR a few moments ago, the future radar. And that is pointing towards storms continuing over the next few hours. Perhaps weakening, though, as they move further south. Joseph and Lindsay Travis on Facebook asked, what about White County? I've had a lot of questions about White County. Not really anything going on right now. We're just watching and waiting. We'll see if we get any new development further east. But right now, not seeing anything. It's just some light showers heading your way. There is some embedded lightning, though, so watch out for that. Your heaviest storm right now, though, is over top of Carthage and Gordonsville, drifting towards Smithville, maybe Baxter as well. Gainesboro, you're under the severe thunderstorm warning, but really and truly, you're just getting some light to moderate shower activity. That's why I haven't really talked much about y'all, because there's just not a whole lot going on up this way. So we're just kind of in a wait-and-see mode, really. If we get to a point we have no active severe thunderstorm warnings, I'll probably sign off from continuous coverage at that point. But as it stands, we've been live now for, what, 2 hours now, probably? Can't remember exactly what time we went live, but this is what we do around here. That storm does continue to weaken over Smith County, not seeing as much lightning. I've really quit hearing thunder where I'm at. So, like the heaviest activity shifting southward towards the Sykes community, Alexandria, approaching Center Hill Lake, extending westward into Watertown, and approaching the Wilson County, Rutherford County line. Most impressive activity is really back towards Nashville, Hermitage, Mount Juliet, moving towards Smyrna. Again, that severe thunderstorm warning continues until 9:15 p.m. for the threat of damaging straight-line winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. Maybe some small hail embedded in that as well. Zach says, how bad is it going to be in Baxter, Putnam County? As of right now, I don't see anything all that concerning heading towards Putnam County. Some heavier showers approaching the western fringe of the county. Yes, you are under a severe thunderstorm warning, but again, that storm is really weakening a lot. So, seems the better organization, the better storminess, I guess you could say, is shifting more westward. There is a heavier cell, though, here in eastern Pickett County, east of Byrdstown. Nothing of concern here, just some heavy rain, but, you know, that's about it there. We'll see if that grows stronger. That's about our only heavier cell up that way that's still holding on from what was a much stronger complex of storms to the north across Kentucky. Ton of lightning here, though, in the Mount Juliet area, Hermitage. Nearly 200 strikes in this area over the last 10 minutes. A lot of cloud-to-ground lightning strikes here. Still seeing quite a bit of lightning near Alexandria, too. Maybe close to 50 strikes in the last 10 minutes. But overall, this storm is weakening quite a bit. Again, the warning's still in effect technically for a few more minutes. I don't think the Weather Service is going to extend that, though, based on what I'm seeing. It's just not anywhere near as organized as it was moving out of Trousdale County. Zach says, what about the Lebanon area? Lebanon, the conditions are rapidly improving for y'all. Got some heavy rain about to move back into Lebanon. But otherwise, still some lightning in the area. But as far as any damaging wind threat, that has shifted south of you at this point. Down into Laverne, Smyrna. So we'll remain live as long as that severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for Wilson County, Rutherford County. So very intense storm, especially for our northwestern areas and our far northern areas along the Kentucky border earlier on. We are seeing some weakening now. Brent, this is tornado warning for Dixon County. Yes, I am aware that is well outside of my coverage area. I have a pretty well-defined area. If you're wondering what it is on Facebook, at the top of our Facebook page, and X as well, pinned to the is a map showing the counties I cover officially. If you want to look at that and reference it. But I cover 23 counties, kind of in between Middle and East Tennessee, centered on the Cookeville area and the surrounding market there. We cover as far west as Mount Juliet, Gallatin, White House, Murfreesboro, Rutherford County, and as far east as Scott County, Morgan County, down into Dayton, Pikeville, and then all this land here in between, encompassing the Upper Cumberland region and areas just to the west and just to the east. Michelle says, what about Cumberland County? Y'all are okay right now. Got a little bit of lightning down this way being detected. Nearly 20 strikes actually in the Cumberland County area, extending back into portions of White and Putnam counties as well. Most of that is up in the clouds, but still lightning. Zach says, how's Lebanon looking? I think I've answered that a couple of times, but Lebanon is calming down considerably at this point. Just some heavy rain, but as far as any severe threat goes, I think that is really shifting more southward at this point. Flash flooding, though, could definitely be a concern for the Lebanon area. Mount Juliet, Hermitage, a lot of heavy rain has fallen across that area, over into Smith County. Lafayette, Hartsville, while the rain has ended for y'all, again, flash flooding still possible, may still be ongoing across these areas. I haven't really seen any reports of that, but still, if you're out driving, just be very mindful of that. If you come across a flooded roadway, turn around, don't drown. Got a lot of runoff still ongoing, coming off the hills, going into all the streams and creeks. So even though the rain has stopped, you may still see rises over the next hour or so. So just be mindful of that. Please take it easy. I think Salina, Byrdstown, probably not as much of a problem for you, especially as you get into Pickett County, Overton County, Fenchurch County. You are under this flash flood warning. We just really haven't seen much heavy rain over this way. That warning was issued when we still had some heavier storms to your north across Kentucky, southern Kentucky, but that complex has since really fizzled out. Just some light rain at this point, so not as worried about flash flooding up this way. Still not saying don't take it seriously. If you come across a flooded roadway, you know, do the right thing, turn around, don't drown. But I think it's going to be more of our western areas, back into Lafayette, Hartsville, Carthage, Lebanon, Gallatin, Westmoreland, especially Portland. My goodness, it came a heck of a storm a couple hours ago. Those areas definitely under the gun for potential flash flooding. That may still be ongoing. Rodney says they're going to be around 2 tonight. At this point, I'm not. As far as anything across our north, I don't think so. Really, I'm just waiting to see if we see any new development further south and east, but I'm not convinced that we will. This complex of storms may be it. It could strengthen again, though, as it moves further south. Again, a lot of unknowns. That's why we're here watching and waiting. Got some light to moderate showers spreading across northern and western Putnam County, including Baxter, Cookeville, up to the Bangham community, Dotson Branch. Light rain extending up into Gainsboro. Got a few occasional lightning strikes with that as well. Heavier rain back into Carthage still, but again, nothing of real concern there. Again, your heavier storm activity again across Wilson County, Davidson County, pushing into Rutherford County here soon. But even that's not as organized as it was earlier. Still very strong, very intense. So we could still see a damaging wind threat over that way. That severe thunderstorm warning was dropped, though, for Smith County. So the only active severe thunderstorm warning we have right now is this one that includes Wilson and Rutherford counties in our coverage area, and then back into Davidson and Williamson counties. This is like the Weather Service is still looking at that tornado warning north of Dixon. Radar indicated rotation back that way. So that is a thing out that way. If you have friends or family, or even if yourself, you're in that tornado warning, you need to be in your safe spot now. So that warning continues till 9:30 p.m. Again, this is well outside our coverage area. I'm just giving a little additional coverage to it since it is there. So those are the details. Dixon County, again, west of Nashville, is the focal point of that tornado warning. Caitlin asks, how's Gladeville looking? Gladeville, it is coming a heavy storm right now. You do remain under a severe thunderstorm warning until 9:15 p.m. Damaging straight line winds in excess of 60 miles per hour possible with that storm. Y'all can't see it, but I'm going to pull up the a couple of outage maps here. So it looks like in Upper Cumberland's area there are about 22 outages. In Carthage, and another 21 outages west of Hiwassee Road. Let's see, Tri-County Electric. If I can type. Let's see. Quite a few more outages with Tri-County. Looks like you've got several outages east of Hartsville. About 491 outages there. Lots of sporadic outages. Got 448 outages north of Westmoreland. Seems to be the biggest concentration of outages. Got a few outages, 91 outages south of Red Bull and Springs. So quite a few outages, kind of sporadic, especially across Trousdale County back into Sumner County. And I will say that does very much line up with where we saw the most intense storm coverage earlier. And certainly not very surprised by that. If anything, I'm actually kind of surprised we aren't seeing more outages than that. I guess it's kind of impressive, but still not very fun at all if your power's out. But contact Canaan Electric, though. Our buddy Preston there. You can see him on the screen there in the corner there. There's his phone number, 931-907-5886. If you want a Generac whole home generator system, he'll hook you up with it. Never have to worry about your power going out again. Contact my buddy Brandon at B&H Storm Shelters if you want to get a storm shelter installed, an above-ground storm shelter. Never have to worry about storms again. Of course, Citizens Bank, they'll help you get a loan for all of that. If you can't afford it out of pocket, get a loan with Citizens Bank. They've been in business for almost a century. Of course, the Quality family there services, want to thank them for supporting our app, making it possible to deliver to y'all, as well as Henry Brothers Roofing. If you got any roof damage from the winds that move through, contact them. Also want to thank Nissan of Cookeville. They got a big 4th of July sale still ongoing, part of their summer savings event. Got a lot of good deals on vehicles right now, so check them out if you're in the market for one. My wife and I both drive Nissans out before we ever made a deal with them. So our vehicles are not part of any deal I've made with them. I really like doing business with them, and they decided they like my business and they want to support Upper Cumberland Weather. So I want to thank them for their support. So we're getting to a point now. A severe thunderstorm warning back in Wilson and Rutherford County continue for another 8 minutes. Weather Service hasn't indicated if they're going to expand that warning farther south or not. The storms here across DeKalb, Putnam, Smith County, just not a whole lot going on with that. Just some lightning at this point. I don't even think the winds are anywhere near as strong as we were seeing earlier. Maybe some embedded gusty winds. I think Mama is playing hide and go seek with you. Why don't you check in there? Check behind that curtain. I think she's hiding. Got some playtime going on across the studio there, trying to make the best of being up here. Studio. I see Zootopia is not playing anymore. So at this point, we're really just hanging out here. I don't want to call our severe weather threat done for the night, but honestly, I'm not seeing much of anything of concern at the moment. Just a lot of heavy rain and lightning across Wilson and northern Rutherford counties, maybe some embedded gusty winds here. Flash flooding, though, definitely probably the biggest concern of all, from Hermitage to Mount Juliet, Smyrna, Lebanon, Gallatin even. So if you're in these areas, travel definitely discouraged right now. That flash flood warning in effect to 11 p.m. And the flash flood warning for Rutherford County in effect to 11:45 p.m. So again, just be mindful of that. If you come across a flooded roadway, if you have to be out, just turn around, don't drown. Do not attempt to cross a flooded roadway. I shouldn't say very difficult, actually impossible to tell how deep that water is. So don't even chance it. Shannon Solomon says, I have a storm shelter from B&H Shelters, and it has lowered my storm anxiety tremendously. Well worth it. That's what I like to hear. If you want to be like Shannon, give Brandon a call. 931-510-5846. I wouldn't doubt there's some people in a power outage right now. They probably have a generator, Generac system. Very thankful they have that installed. If you want one, reach out to Canaan Electric. Preston will get you hooked up and get you set, and you never have to worry about your power going out again. 931-907-5886. I'm seeing reports there could have been a tornado touchdown in Dixon County with that tornado warning storm. Again, that's well outside our coverage area. That's why you haven't seen me covering it. Rotation has decreased a lot with that storm, so hopefully nothing's ongoing with that. But that's really where the nastier storm activity is right now. Back that way, a little bit more organized, a lot less organized. We're seeing a westward trend with the heavier storms. Been the case for the last couple of hours now, which is good news for us. We're just getting some light rain now from Cookville down to Sparta, McMinnville, Crossville. Some embedded lightning. You are hearing some occasional thunder if you're out this way. But nothing extreme, nothing we can't handle, nothing too terribly intense, which is good news. I know there's some areas that could use a good downpour still. So for y'all, this may not be the right system for it, but for others, we've gotten a little too much rain. In fact, we can look at our rainfall that we picked up. Let me there we go. Storm total accumulation. Let's give you an idea where we've seen the highest rainfall rates so far. Actually, let me do something real quick. Let me make those pins a little bit bigger. Let's make them really big. There we go. That is better. So this will give you an idea how much rain has fallen based on radar. Looks like we've had, nearly 2 inches north of Lafayette. A couple inches close to Westmoreland. Again, these are radar estimates. Almost 2.5 inches closer to Hermitage. North of Carthage about 1 inch. Pleasant Shade a little over 1/2 inch. Nearly 2.5 inches northeast of Portland. There could be some locally higher amounts than this. These are just radar estimates. They give you an idea, though, where some of the heaviest rains have fallen. Also some heavier rain here northeast of Salina. Willow Grove area, nearly 1.5 inches over that way as well. And that could lead to some flash flooding issues, so that may still be ongoing. But look at Salina, though, the dividing line here. Northeast of Salina, almost 1.5 inches of rain. Hardly any rain at all, virtually none southwest of Salina. Two totally different evenings have unfolded over that way. And if we zoom out the radar, you can see where the heavier storm activity has been. It's been across the north and across our northwest. We'll clear those off. And we will go back to our reflectivity view here. And I can put this in motion. You can see what radar has looked like over the last several hours as these storms have moved through. Very intense storms moved out of southern Kentucky a few hours ago, moved across our northern areas very slowly, then finally began to pick up some steam. But as they began moving faster, we saw some weakening as well. My wife is inquiring about the air conditioning in the room here, and I regret to inform her that it is on the highest setting, on the coldest setting. So it is quite warm in here. I will say I'm hot in nature. I'm not like burning up right now, though. It's not that bad. Okay, it's really bad. It's very hot in here. It's a balmy 72.5. It may be warmer on that side, though. That air conditioner on that side of the room doesn't work. This one does, so. Potato. You can see all the warnings, a host of warnings issued, though, with these storms. They move south. Ton of lightning as well. Lightning really tells a story. At one point, we had, more than 1,000 lightning strikes over a 10-minute period. Maybe upwards of 1,100 strikes at one point. 1,300 at one point at the peak of this. Now we're down to about 600 to 700 strikes. So, about half the amount of lightning we had earlier. And the trend has been for these storms really to be more organized west of us. That westward shift has been happening over the last couple of hours, which is good news for us. We don't want severe weather here. And that severe thunderstorm warning was dropped for Williston, Rutherford County. So at this point, we have no active severe thunderstorm warnings. I think that's honestly, going to be probably my stopping point here soon. It's 9:15. 9:16. I think about 9:20 we'll wrap this up, but I'll stay live a few more minutes. I'm honestly at this point not too terribly worried about additional severe weather. Can't totally rule it out. I'll hang around here. I won't leave, but I will sign off from continuous coverage. It's not really needed at this point. What's moving through right now is very benign. Not even like heavier storms. These were heavier storms, just not warned. I'd stay live, but even this is just rain and some lightning. We can absolutely handle this. Anthony Griffin says, is Monterey in the clear? Yeah, I think y'all are in the clear probably. I don't like giving all clears this early. Our southern areas, south of I-40, I'm not giving you an all clear by any means. I'm just going off current radar trends for most of the worst of this activity to be developing really more to the west at this point. And that's not to say we won't see new development further east, but with all this light shower activity beginning to break out now, could be helping to stabilize things a bit. So, and if this is as tense as it gets tonight, I think a lot of us will be very thankful for that. Most intense storms earlier, though, were definitely across the Hartsville area, back up to Westmoreland. parts of Macon County. Got pretty intense there for a little bit. Lots of power outages across that area as well. Ragged Storms on YouTube says, can't wait for all the snow. Okay. I don't mind summer continuing a little bit longer. I can do without some of the Florida-like humidity we've had the last couple of days, having just come from Florida a little over a week, you know. I'll tell you what, nighttime down there is a different animal in July. At least what I encountered. You go outside at midnight, it's still like 85 with a dew point of 82. It's almost hotter at night than it is during the day, if that makes sense. The wind calms down a little bit, but still very muggy. Hoo-wee. So coming back home from vacation to a dew point of 75, it's actually kind of refreshing. But today, though, yesterday, ooh-wee, it's been humid. Maggie asks, is Lebanon getting much more tonight? Probably not. Still some storm activity extending up into Gallatin. That still has to sink southward. Flash flooding really being the main concern now across Davidson, Wilson, Sumner counties. Could be ongoing still in the Lafayette area, Macon County, Sumner County, maybe northern Smith County. Those flash flood warnings were dropped early. I'm not surprised by that at all for Clay County, Pickett County, Overton, back into Jackson County, Fenchurch County. No more flash flood warnings over this way. Again, not at all surprised by that. We just, the storms just collapsed. They were doing their thing up in southern Kentucky, very intense, and then boom, it's rain, light rain. Still a pretty good cell here, though, near downtown, producing a lot of lightning approaching Smithville. About 59 strikes detected in the last 10 minutes in this area. So that's rolling on into Smithville. The heavier downpour, maybe some brief gusty winds with that. But overall, that is the picture right now. We'll look at future radar again before I sign off from continuous coverage. And let me make sure we are on the most recent run. Yes, we are. So this is what radar could look like at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. And this just reinforces what I've been saying. Heavier activity staying west of us and really not a whole lot else going on. So again, I'm not totally giving us the all clear, especially central and southern areas of the region, but I'm not seeing much cause for concern though either. I would be very surprised if we see any redevelopment of stronger storms. But again, this is what radar could look like at 11 o'clock. Very similar to what we're seeing now. By midnight, most of this activity fizzling out. Maybe some heavier activity to our southwest, but again, that's not us. And then maybe a couple of residual showers hanging out for the morning commute, especially down towards McMinnville, Spencer. Could see some redevelopment around the middle of the day and the early afternoon hours tomorrow. But overall, though, this just be light shower activity. The rest of this will be partly, mostly cloudy. Highs in low to mid 80s, a little bit less humidity. Not too terribly bad of a day. Definitely not as hot as we've been here recently. But that being said, I think this is probably a really good stopping point. Again, still have some light showers out there, heavier activity across our southwestern areas, but other than that, though, not a whole lot to be terribly concerned about at the moment. Just some lightning out there. Severe threat has really dwindled down. I'll keep watching, though. I'll hop back on if I need to later on if anything does reorganize, especially across our southwest, but otherwise I'm not anticipating that happening. I think any additional severe weather worries will probably be well west of us the rest of the evening. Even a lot of this, while it's strong, isn't quite as organized as we were seeing earlier. So we'll see what happens out that way, but for us, I'm not too terribly worried. So I appreciate all of you tuning in tonight. Hope y'all like the software we're using here. This is new stuff. Not publicly available yet, but I'm getting to beta test it, and it's only getting better, and lots of new features have been added, getting to suggest a lot of new features, and really excited for that opportunity, and really happy to have something like this out there now that's so much more powerful than anything we've used before, and really anything else you're seeing out there other than like the commercial stuff they use on TV. And in some ways, this will be even better than that. At least that's the goal. So really excited for that. Appreciate all of you tuning in. Support all the local businesses that are supporting us. They make Upper Cumberland Weather possible. They allow me to be here no matter what time of day it is, day or night. It could be 2 a.m., 6 o'clock in the evening, 3 o'clock in the morning. Could be I could be on vacation, as was the case a week and a half ago. Thankfully, didn't have too much going on that required me to go live, but we were there, ready to go, had a whole setup there and everything. So again, want to thank again all of our local community partners making that possible, allowed me to be here full time, no matter what, without the constraints of another job weighing me down. And again, I want y'all to give them your support whenever and wherever you can. That being said, I'm going to sign off from coverage from now. Hopefully y'all won't have to see me again. Y'all stay safe and God bless.